Hello, Freedom Casters. We are so glad you're tuning in right now. Today we are talking about something that we feel is a very hard balance to strike, and that is the work versus play.
Work versus life versus play versus the balance thing.
Yes, it's very tricky, and we've been especially feeling the struggle while we're here because all we want to do...
Where are we, Miranda?
We're in Chiang Mai.
We're in Shang My, Thailand. We're loving it so far. Go ahead. I just wanted to make sure they knew where we are.
Well, according to the video, we're just in a small white room, so...
We are. We're in a very tiny white studio.
Jordan can touch one arm, and then his toe can touch the other side of the room. So
yep.
It's pretty interesting.
Which, I mean, I am pretty tall, so...
Yeah, but it's still, that just gives them an idea of the size.
Yeah, it's a very small, just one room. Oh, there's a bug. Studio.
So...
Turn the fan back on. The mosquitoes are back.
Like I said, we have been really kind of struggling with this whole idea since we've been here. We've been here about a week and a half now, and
isn't that crazy?
It is crazy.
It's already been a week and a half.
Believe it.
We've done so much though, which
it's crazy.
I love that we decided to take a 2-month trip here because we've just been able to do things.
I don't know how you would be able to see even anything in 1 week here. It's just there's too much.
By the time you came, you'd be turning around and flying back out.
Yeah, and I can't even imagine what that does to your body to be like that jet lag after a week. That would be awful.
Yeah, because Miranda discovered something interesting that if you pass it over several time zones, it takes 1 day for every 2 time zones.
Yes.
1 day of recovery for every 2 time zones you cross. Now we crossed 12 time zones, so technically, according to that random study, which probably just made it up, it takes 6 days to recover. Now I don't think it took us 6 days, but isn't that an interesting thing?
It is interesting, and I think it's worse if we went the right way. Well, we went over the North Pole. We went over Santa Claus to get here, which is really interesting. We didn't, because they said if you go...
I thought I heard a jingling.
If you head west, I think it's worse. If you're going back in time, I think going forward is better. I don't know how it all works, but a lot of people on Google have asked this before, so that's where I've gotten all this information. But it was very interesting because we flew over the top of the world to get here, which I thought was pretty cool.
I thought that was I didn't think we were going to do that.
Yeah. There wasn't much to look at. It was just, it was overnight anyway, so we didn't see anything.
At one point, the screen did say the temperature was like negative 58 degrees Celsius or something.
Really? Whew.
Which, maybe because it's like in the South Pole, up that high in the air. I don't know. I'm glad we didn't crash.
Well, we were over the North Pole. We didn't go.
Did I say South Pole?
You did. South Pole would have been...
Pole, I mean...
Crazy.
Whatever.
It was one of those. Does Santa Claus live in the South Pole? I don't think so.
I don't know. Wait, where are penguins? Penguins are in the South Pole.
Yeah.
Maybe. Okay, where are we at?
I don't know. We've already gotten distracted.
We do want to say, we said this on the previous podcast that we had while we were in Thailand, our audio quality is not going to be the best, and probably the video quality is just going to be lacking a little bit because we don't have the best light. So we just
one of our lights went out. We have 3 light bulbs, but we lost one.
We lost one. So yeah, just bear with us as we're here. I'm sure you're probably more than okay with it, but we just did want to say that it's not going to be the best quality as we go, but this is the best we can do, and we're just rolling with it because we love you guys and we love doing this podcast and talking about our adventures and sharing, just how we can leave normal behind in the world. And what's more leaving normal behind than deciding to be a little bit crazy and go to Thailand for 2 months?
Yeah, well, I mean...
It's cool, but it feels a little crazy still.
There are a lot of people here that, a lot of expats, a lot of tourists, so we're not alone.
No, that's true.
But it is definitely...
But they are leaving normal behind, too.
Yes, it's been a very cool trip so far. I'm just so glad that we did this, even though it was a little crazy to just up and leave the U.S. for 2 months. It's been awesome, really. And we're only a week and a half in, so...
Yep.
So it's pretty cool. But, yeah, the first thing we wanted to talk about was, like I said, I think everybody struggles with this, the balancing work and play. I think especially if you are more of an entrepreneur, this can get a lot dicier. There's a lot more gray area because Jordan's been doing working from home for about 1.5 years now, so he has a lot more experience with it.
Which is crazy that it's been that long.
And I've just been doing it for 2 weeks, so I'm
2 weeks and like the entire time we've been traveling.
Yeah, it's been very interesting.
We've been in Virginia, we've been
Yeah.
In Beijing for a day.
We're in Myrtle Beach, yeah.
Oh, yes.
So,
I forgot. I knew they were somewhere else.
Yeah, so I think everybody struggles with this. If you're a CEO of a company, you're going to have a lot more responsibility. You're going to have to, if you're that last person in the line, you've got to take care of things sometimes. And I think it's a balance everybody should be paying attention to, because you really can't just work all the time, because that's just not good for you. People who spend the whole year and they have vacation that they don't use, like, that's crazy. Use your vacation. It's so important.
Wait, is that bullet number one? Because that use your vacation. I mean, come on, people.
You're getting paid to not be at work. Like, do it. That's the best. It took me, when I worked at the greenhouse, it took a whole year before I even started accruing time off.
Yeah.
So I was there a year and a half, and I only ever got paid for like 8 hours of being off of work. So it's so precious. If you have it, use it. Seriously.
I wanted to say that, like, I do understand that, like, mentality, though, to a certain extent, because I think some people feel that, you might risk not getting advancement in a job, or you might think your coworkers are, like, looking down on you, or your boss might be like, why does this guy need a break? I mean, I think certain cultures and certain work environments, that might very well be true. And I think even in the entrepreneurial lifestyle, it can be true too, because you're like, man, if I don't work for a week, then I don't get paid. I don't have anything going on, unless you have passive income going. But if you're a freelancer, you don't work, you don't get paid. That's kind of what that is. And I think there can be this pressure to be continually working all the time. So I get the pressure, but there's been times where, I mean, pretty much every time Miranda pulls me away and say, hey, you need a break, I can jump back into it better. Like, that's number one.
Mm-hmm.
And number two, like, having that break almost allows things to happen that I'm not a part of, and it's interesting.
It is.
I don't know. I can't, like, quantify that, what I just said there, but it's like, it feels like it happens, You just said it the other day, so.
And it's tricky, too, if you are a teacher, for example, and you leave, it ends up you have to do more work to get time off, and you have more work waiting for you when you get back, and that is a big...
Emails.
Yeah, that is a big part of it, too. I think people are hesitant because they're like, I'm behind and I'm working every day, all day. How am I supposed to take time off? But, it's still worth it, even if it is a little crazy getting back into it. You just need that break. You need that, like, barrier of, like, okay, I'm going to take a little time off, refresh a little bit. You honestly will come back feeling so much better. Even if you just do a little staycation at home, you don't have to travel to Thailand to have a break. You can just take a weekend and just hang out with your family, take a weekend and get a massage. It's just whatever works for you that really helps you feel recentered, that's going to be just invaluable for you in that situation.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and like you said, it's been, it's also been this thing with entrepreneurs to hustle. That's like the whole thing. And some people, end up priding themselves on, like, the hustle.
Yeah.
And that's very commonplace, I think, with, digital nomads and entrepreneurs and all that.
You brag about working 12-hour days,
Yeah. But I think it is different as an entrepreneur and as, working remotely, because you have so much more control over your time, but that can also be a dangerous thing.
Yeah,
because you could end up thinking about, I should be working all day and not actually get any work done. So there's definitely pros and cons to having that set time and space. Like where I was working before, it was like I left work and I didn't even think about it, not even a tiny bit after I left work. Like it was just out of my brain. But now I'm like thinking more about what I have to be doing during the day, because there's no set time. I have to set that time. So it's definitely a challenge for me to transition while we're traveling, because in our relationship I am more of the fun party animal one, and George's
you're the fun one.
The work, like, we got to get work done one. So it's, I'm like, oh, we should do this and this and this and this, and Jordan's like, okay, but you haven't done anything yet today. And I'm like, okay, that's true, but you don't have to call me out like that.
Yeah. Well, at least I didn't call you out on the podcast. You called yourself out, so.
What do you mean?
Just now.
Oh.
Yeah.
I thought you meant about doing the podcast, which
No.
Which I was trying to push us to go eat first.
Oh, but no, but
let's go get an egg roll before we do the podcast.
But it was your idea to do the podcast, so.
Yeah, but you were the one that was like, we should do it before we.
You get all the credit.
We've been eating all day, which we have.
Can I say something about I just made me think about the work-life balance thing, so we're trying to recenter and go back to that. As you know, we always get on these tangents, but, you know, I'm trying to remember exactly what I was going to say. Oh, yeah, we've talked about this before, I know we have, but I think this especially applies to entrepreneurs, but I mean, it can be for anyone in any type of job, is that, and especially if you really like the job and you're very passionate about it, do you want to be in it? The question is, do you want to be in it for the long term, the long haul? And I think as entrepreneurs, we can get burnout very quickly, even with something we love, because we're spending so much time being in the hustle. And if we're working 12 hours a day every day, we're not going to love that thing very long. It's just not sustainable. And I think that's where we can really question that. Okay, do I love this enough to be in it for the long haul? Then I need to step away. I need to work shorter days. I need to do something else one day out of the week. I just think that's key. I think there probably are certain people out there that can hustle all the time, maybe for years, but I can't imagine it not catching up with them at some point, and then just all of a sudden you lose it. You hate what you do, and then like, oh man, I used to be passionate about this, but maybe you've lost all interest in it. But
yeah, I think that definitely can happen. If you're not careful, your work can become your whole life, and then you realize you hate your work, and then that's all you have, and that's not healthy. We weren't built to just be work zombies our whole lives. No. That's not, we have to have experiences and have downtime. That's just like there's a time and season,
Yeah.
With humans, we need to have that ebb and flow, or we just doing the same thing all the time just does not work out well. It just gets to be too much.
Yep. And I think this is a perfect time to jump into what we were just talking about. Me and Miranda were just having a discussion, and we wanted to share this with you because it's cool to see, how to do this in real time, and we're going to see how this is going to work for us. We're pretty excited about it. So basically, it all started with us talking about, how much do we want to do while we're here versus how much do we want to work? And I think that's the huge question, because number one, we have to work while we're over here so that we can do this trip. I mean, especially because Miranda's just starting out just starting out. You've done podcasts and you've done stuff, but like this seems more official that you're like, you're taking the plunge, and you're taking the plunge while we're going on a trip.
Taking the plunge while we're taking the plunge.
Yeah. So it's a big shift. It's a big change for you, and for us too. So we're trying to I think we're trying to err on the side of work and making sure we we're doing all of our busy work, but also pushing the needle forward on our goals too, which is one thing we always talk about together, and one thing we always want to do, making sure our big goals that we really care about, making sure that we're pushing those forward each and every day, and not just getting stuck in the busy. It can be so easy to do that, but as I was saying, well, maybe you can finish my point. I got on a tangent. I love that stuff though, so.
Yeah, so we were kind of talking about, well, how have we done so far? We've been here a week and a half. Have we been doing a good job with this work-play balance? And I don't know, it's hard to say because we feel a little guilty about not working enough, and then we feel a little guilty about not experiencing everything every day because
we're in Thailand.
There's so much you can do. It's crazy. There's just, seriously, you walk out the door and there's something else going on the street that you're like, okay, I want to take part in that.
Chiang Mai is such a cool place. Cool. It's so cool.
So it's just so different. Every day in Hunters, what you're going to see when you cross the street into Birkdale Village.
It's going to be Birkdale Village. If it's the middle of the day, no one's going to be there. If it's a Friday night in the weekend, then it's packed. I mean,
but, it's in Chiang Mai, it's you walk out in the morning and all the crepe carts are out, all the durian carts are out, and then you go out at lunchtime, and then all these food vendors are out, and then you go out at night, and all of a sudden there's a Sunday market, and they're selling crafts and home goods everywhere, and it's a different street every time you walk down it.
Yep, it is.
It's hard not to feel like you're missing something at all times, because I have serious FOMO, so it's definitely well, what's going on right now? Maybe we should go see what's happening. And so we thought of a new plan for what we're doing for the rest of the time we're in Thailand.
We'll report on it and see how it works.
We'll see how it works, because we come up with a lot of ideas and then we try them and then they don't work, and then we're we'll try something else next time. But
which I really like about us, and I think it's a good thing to do. Have new ideas, try them out, pivot when you need to. Not all ideas are good ideas.
We're very malleable in that way. We just kind of go, we're that didn't work, let's try again.
Yeah.
But we decided we were each going to make a list of 3 things that we feel that we absolutely have to do before we go back home.
Yep.
So we're each going to pick 3 things, and then that's going to be, those 6 things are going to be our goals to do before we leave. So they're just the top things, and they're the important things, and we're obviously going to be doing other things while we're here, but those are the main. I mean, it seems weird to put goals to, fun goals, but that's what they are. They're fun goals. And it's kind of like bucket list type idea. So that's what we're going to try to do so we don't feel guilty about working as much as we are. But still, even when we're working here, we're still working in these awesome cafes.
Oh, man, it's so cool.
Getting pad thai for $1. The mango smoothies, man.
Miranda has been all about the mango smoothies, so she basically hasn't been drinking much coffee at all. That's what I've been doing.
I'm living off of mango right now.
You are just living off the smoothies.
The one I got today was basically mango ice cream. It was so thick, like you had to eat it
with a
spoon. It was amazing.
Yep.
I mean, if you're walking around, it's 90 degrees, you're hot, and you get a mango smoothie, like.
It's very refreshing. I drank a coconut today.
Yeah.
For the first time. That was pretty good.
That was good too. But
it wasn't like the best thing in the world. I mean, but I really liked the coconut flavor. I mean, I think it was good. It was good to try it. I may get 1 or 2 more before we go. I don't know.
It's one of those weird things where you're just expecting water and it's not water.
But it sort of tastes like water.
Kind of water.
It's like flavored water, but it's coconut water. I don't know.
Yeah. The really funny thing has been Jordan with his coffee, because at 7-Eleven, it's the only place you can get kind of coffee to go. And so Jordan's going to 7-Eleven every morning, but the largest coffee size, how many ounces would you say?
9. It's 9.
9 ounces. It's a
I know that because it says it on the side.
Tiny little cup, and he drinks it in about 2 seconds.
Because it's not even like straight coffee. It's like cappuccino, but not. It's like I don't even know.
We're not sure what it is.
Nest coffee. I think that's kind of the thing around here.
It's written in Thai, so we're not sure what it is.
There's no English.
But we saw coffee beans on
funny.
the pictures, so we're like, that's.
So it is definitely coffee, and it does taste very good. It's definitely like sugared, more like a cappuccino, but yeah. It's
tiny, so it's just so funny. Jordan walks all the way to 7-Eleven, comes back, and has done the coffee in 2 minutes.
It's gone.
It's not a venti for sure.
It's not a venti, but honestly, I've been loving the coffee over here. This is a tangent, but that's fine. I've been loving the coffee over here, and the what was I going to say? I realized I don't even know if I like Starbucks coffee that much. And I go there all the time because there's not that many options, but if I had to compare pretty much every single coffee I've had here with Starbucks, like, here is just way better.
What about Thailand 7-Eleven 9-ounce coffee versus Starbucks?
I mean, I don't know. Maybe I was just getting so, just tired of having the same coffee every day.
That's true. That can happen.
But I'm going to go back, and I feel like I'm going to want to get, my own espresso machine and, do that sort of stuff. Because all I've done at home is just brew normal pot coffee, It sounds bad, pot coffee. I think I'm ruined because it's espresso over here. They don't even give you the option of, at least I haven't seen any options of, even double espresso or 3 shots. The standard, Americano at Starbucks, the Venti Americano, is 3 espresso shots. And over here, you only get 1 at a time, pretty much. But it's so good. The Americanos over here are so good.
It's been good for us because I'm always a snacker, and here that's not how they do things here. It's like you go and you pay $1 or $2 for this massive, delicious meal, but you don't just snack around all day, And that's been really good for me. Less coffee has been good for Jordan. But yeah.
And less food. It's less food, but it's better food. It's quality food that's made right in front of you, but the portion sizes are not as big.
They we talked about the mango sticky rice last week. They make you a mango smoothie. It's you see them chopping up the mango.
Yeah.
It's just amazing.
They chop up the mango and cut it up for the sticky rice, and then they pour the sticky on it, that's what they call it. The one lady, I went up to her and she said, I have mango, no sticky. I was like,
they're like,
this is so worth it. I was almost happy that you didn't have it.
And another funny thing, which we were talking about last night, is there are American fare available. You can get a burger and fries and Mexican food too. Like they have quesadillas and nachos as options, but they're just ridiculously expensive compared to a Thai dish. And it's just so funny.
It is funny. It's compared, but it's still only like $4 or $5 for like an entire meal, like at a restaurant.
It's
not an entire meal, but the entree.
It's cheaper than if you were buying a burger in America. But compared to the Thai standard, it's so much more expensive, and it's so much less healthy for you, and the quality is way worse because they honestly, they're not very good at making burgers. Jordan got one last night.
No, and I feel like it's the standard across. I mean, I'm sure there's a pub somewhere that's run more, maybe by like a U.S. citizen or something that can make it right. But the one I had last night was like, it tasted like they took it out of like a frozen meal pack. It was like stiff. It was like weird. It was like,
and it's just funny because but if you
it was definitely not like a burger.
What was that soup you got? That's really good.
Kai soy.
Kai soy.
I think I'm saying it wrong. Kai.
It's like flavorful. It's delicious.
Oh my gosh, it's so good.
And that's 3 times cheaper than getting like a burger. But then as Americans, we still want to get the burger. It's so deeply seated in us. It's
rooted. It's rooted.
Like, I need a burger, man. It's been a week and I haven't had a burger.
I've been neglected. I've been,
neglected by burgers.
Yeah.
I don't think that works.
I can't think of what I was. You know what I'm trying to say. Maybe you guys know what I'm trying to say.
It's just so funny because those things are available, but it's just and breakfast too. That's been probably the hardest thing for us is breakfast because I cannot just dive into like a spicy thing first thing in the morning or a serious meal. I need my flavorless granola bar to get started. So we have a bagel place that we go to, which is. But
it's one of the best bagel. It's the best bagel place I've ever been to. The bagels taste better than any I've ever had in the U.S. Like it's perfect. The coffee's really good there. It's a good starter place.
It's still more expensive to get like one silly little bagel, but that's what we've been doing. But it's still it's amazing.
But more expensive than the U.S. at like a bagel place? Probably not.
Yeah, just the ability to try so many different foods for so cheap here. It's just been awesome. I
got 2 coffees today, and we got 2 bagels made for you and brought out on a plate. Oh no, bagels and eggs. So they made two fried eggs, a huge bagel, toasted and brought out with butter and jelly. So 2 of those meals and 2 coffees was 250 baht, which is just under $10, which is about $8.
Yeah.
So $8 for all that.
Yeah, which over here that's expensive.
That would be 2 coffees at Starbucks. 2 coffees at Starbucks would be more than that.
Yeah.
If they were like special.
It's just so funny. We just love comparing the prices. It's just so amusing for us. And
I like trying to have you test. I like trying to have you ask what 250 baht is worth. That's how I get my fun too.
Yeah. It's a hard number to divide by 30. It's like, come on, when do I ever divide by 30? Mm-hmm. So, yeah, that's
neither here nor there.
Neither here nor there. But it has just the experiences we've had so far just by walking around. Like last night we walked around and they were having we think it was a dress rehearsal for some massive play, or I don't know if you can call it a musical, but It was just so cool. You're walking down the street and they have this massive stage set up and they have these people performing and they have a live band or pit orchestra, if you will, and it's just so cool because you weren't expecting to see that, but then, there it was. And then we also went to this jazz co-op last night, which they were amazing. There were people just standing out in the street to listen to them. And no cover or anything. They're just in there rocking out, and it was just like an awesome way to spend a Friday night.
With like expensive beers for that. Our 2 beers were about $7 together, though. I mean, but it's expensive for Thailand. But you go to a bar and get a beer, I don't even know what does one beer at a bar cost. I'm not sure actually. Yeah. Still, I mean, maybe it's a little bit more normal price. I don't know. But how are we going to bring it back here to work-life balance? Do we have anything else to say about that? I have something to say.
Okay, go ahead. I was just gonna talk more about.
Yeah, we can talk more. I thought we might talk a little bit more about what we promised to talk about.
Okay, go ahead.
Be intentional. That's my tip for work-life balance. I think, especially when you start to see yourself kind of swinging about and you're not sure which way to go. I think having a discussion on it and then making clear goals that you're going to take action on and then be intentional about it. Like we just said, we were like, hey, I don't know if this is working, so let's talk. We just started naturally talking about it, and like, okay, we came up with this solution, so that's what we're doing. We don't know that it's going to work, but we're taking an action step on it. We recognize the potential problem, and we're being intentional about it. And I think that has just worked wonders for me, Miranda, and it's huge. And I love it. I think that's, like we said, it may not work, and I think we've done a lot of things where even a week later we're like, that was a stupid idea, or that obviously didn't work. But I think the key is trying it and doing something about it, and that's been huge for us.
Yeah, because we're always trying new methods, and like you said, a lot of times they don't really work, but we just keep reevaluating, and I feel like that's really one of like our strengths, is just reevaluating and trying to figure out, well, what can we try different. So we're pivoting, yeah. It is a challenge though, because like I said, I just want to do everything while we're here. It's like, when is the next time we're gonna be in Thailand? Like, we gotta do it all, but then at the same time, like, oh, we have responsibilities, shoot.
Yeah.
So it's that balance, and I think, everybody can benefit from that intentionality. If you say you're gonna wake up on Saturday and get some work done, do that, but give yourself a cutoff time and give yourself that downtime as well.
Yeah.
Because it's so important. And if that doesn't work for you, then have like a whole day, or whatever works for you. You gotta really figure it out and make those plans.
Yeah, I think it's a balance of almost a balance of sacrifice. So are you willing to sacrifice what you could have some fun? Are you willing to do that to work so that you can have like longer times to be able to do what we're doing? You know what I mean? I think I view it like that. Like, am I okay with spending 2 or 3 days in a row in Thailand? Obviously, like Miranda said, we're going to new places, having some great food, but maybe we're spending the majority.
Still amazing. Even when you're just working here, it's like you're just eating amazing food and just like walking around the streets and seeing everything. It's still,
which in some ways, we can't complain. It is good enough, But I think we have to we're not going to be able to do something new and go somewhere crazy fun every single day, because we need to be on our laptops. It's a laptop lifestyle, and we need to be working. But then we can do that during the day, or we've been spending a lot of our afternoons just kind of doing whatever, along with having some just like fun days where we just take the day. Went to the zoo for a day, and then went to this mall, which was really cool. Had like a rooftop. It was like a 7-level mall, which I'd never seen before.
Beautiful mall, absolutely. Just a fantastic mall.
Beautiful. Actually, when you went to the top, we could see like Chiang Mai like all around. It was like, this is like the coolest.
It didn't feel like it belonged in Chiang Mai. It was too new and shiny. Chiang Mai feels very like rustic, and
I think it's because we weren't at like Old Town Chiang Mai is like rustic.
Yeah, where we are, it's like, very just like
it's cool.
Down and dirty Chiang Mai,
I like it.
But the Maya Mall, you walk in, you're like, whoa. I feel like.
Did I just get transported to
grimy.
Somewhere else? Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel dirty.
But it was, and the zoo experience was amazing, because, what day was it? A Tuesday? We went on Tuesday. We got there a little earlier, like 10 o'clock or something.
Yeah, pretty early.
And there was just nobody there. We couldn't even find zoo employees. It was just like us and the animals, and it was like having the zoo, like the private zoo to yourself. It was very cool.
Yeah, we could have jumpt over some of the things and gone and
we could have pet a
gotten
lion
killed
if we wanted to. Yeah.
I don't think we could jump over the lion, but
no.
There's some interesting. The tiger. I read one review that they said the tiger looked psychotic because they were just the tiger was just going back and forth. But how does that person know whether tigers normally do that or not? Maybe they're a tiger expert. I don't know. I have no idea.
That person on the review said that I don't like zoos.
Yeah.
You can't start a review on a zoo with I don't like zoos.
Yeah, I don't normally like zoos, but I'm going to review this zoo. It's like, you don't even know, you don't like zoos, you don't know anything about zoos. How are you going to be the person, why would I take your review seriously? You don't even like them, and maybe you're not even an animal person. I have no idea if the animals are being treated well, but you don't know either. You can't go and say, well, they look sad. They look sad. How do you know they look sad? If you're a zoo expert and you tell me that, I'm going to be like, I appreciate your advice, you know. I don't know why I got on the
You're getting
soapbox
very
about that.
worked up about this.
No, it's just funny. I think it's funny for me when people like get so adamant about something that they just don't know anything about.
Yeah.
And I'm sure I do the same thing. Maybe I don't know anything about exactly what I'm just talking about.
I know I was going to say maybe what you just did was someone getting super adamant about something they don't.
But I mean, I think I do know.
No, you're fine.
Thank you.
It was definitely a very cool zoo day. And then after the zoo, we walked over. There was an arboretum next door, which it felt
That was
more like
really cool. I've kind of
just a
forgotten
park.
that.
But they had all sorts of trees, and they named the trees. They said, "Hi, my name's so and so on the tree, and I'm this many years old." And
my name is Pad Thai.
yeah, I didn't see a pad thai tree, but
Aww.
but it was really cool. They had like exercise equipment everywhere. It was a very serene place, and we haven't found too many quiet, serene places in Chiang Mai yet, so that was really cool. And then on the walk back is when we saw the mall, and I was like, "What is that?" And we've been wanting to find a theater, so we were like, okay, let's go. And of course, Jordan convinced me that we should watch a movie that day. So we ended up watching Spider-Man
Fun trip extension. I love
into
it.
the Spider-Verse. And it was really, really good.
Yeah, you should see it.
I did not think I was going to like it, because I didn't know what it was.
I knew she was going to like it. I didn't know whether I was going to like it, but I knew Miranda would.
But I like pretty things, you know. I like watching like Downton Abbey because it's pretty, and like Spider-Man into the Spider-Verse, it was very pretty. It just had the feel like you were reading a comic book, and it was just so creative and artistic how they did it, and the storyline was good, and the soundtrack was good too. So it was definitely go see it. It was awesome. But the coolest part about going to the movie theater, or the most interesting, I should say.
There's so many, like, there's no thing over here that we do that's like, that seems normal. Like, everything has an air of like newness, and it's so exciting. But this was kind of crazy.
Yeah. So at the beginning, they showed a lot of previews. They had commercials, previews. It took 20 minutes before the movie started.
Yeah,
right?
It was a little too much.
But it was more than your average. Usually, I mean, it's usually a lot of previews. But
there's not as many, like, but they didn't have something running before, but American...
They had the same song on repeat for like 10 minutes, and then they had ads. It was previews, and then just ads too. A lot of car ads.
Yeah, and American movie, we don't have, like, there's not as many ads. There's previews for movies, but not as many ads unless you get there super early. Then it's like all ads. It's just different. It's a different setup.
Yeah, just those things the little differences are so interesting. But right before the movie started, a screen came up and it said, "Could everyone stand in honor of the royal family?" And
I think just the one guy,
the king, I guess.
I think he's the king. Yeah, king of Thailand.
And so we were looking around because there was just a few other people in the theater. It wasn't a lot, and we're like,
we were definitely going to group think that one up.
Yeah, I was like,
we're following what other people do.
I'm not going to stand up if no one else does.
Yep.
But then everyone else kind of slowly stood up, and it was this whole montage about his life. It was in Thai, so we had no idea what they were saying, but it was just that, like, this guy is amazing. He was in the military. He's, just so. It was pretty long too. That was pretty long, and you just standing watching it like this is so different. You don't see like a Trump montage before every movie in America. So it's just a funny experience.
But then it was interesting because I thought like, okay, but the initial thought is that was super weird. But then you have to think about it like, okay, like, well, we do things that are really weird. Like at baseball games and football games, every single person stands and listens to the national anthem. If you were from a place. Like, it's just like, we don't do that.
That would seem weird to somebody else.
We don't do that in the movie theaters, but we do it at ball games, and there's even more people there, and it's like, it's just interesting where, like, traditions and culture, and I think it's been cool for us to see just different things, because, yeah, that's weird to us, but is it really weird? Yeah. No, because we do, like, a very similar thing on a bigger scale, actually. I mean, I think it's just weird because it's, like, a private setting of, like, 20 people in a movie theater.
Yeah.
Standing, I don't know, it was weird to us, for sure, but maybe it wasn't weird.
But the movie, it was in English, and they had Thai subtitles. There were some movies that were in Thai, but...
Most of them are in English.
Yeah, and I was like, doesn't that stink for people who live there? Like, you have to watch a movie in English, like...
Yeah.
I don't know.
There was an option for Spider-Man that was dubbed. They call it dubbed in Thai.
Yeah. I just thought that would be, like, kind of annoying if I lived, if I was a Thai native. Like, I want to watch, like, a movie in my language. I don't want to have to think and translate.
Yeah.
You know.
And they do have options. Like there were some Thai movies, but I mean, the big movies are from Hollywood, you know,
Yeah.
and from the U.S. in general. It's just.
I just thought that was interesting too. The mix of like English and the culture. It's fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
I could talk about that all day. It's so interesting.
Yep.
But
do we have anything else on work-life balance, or
well, one more thing.
I don't have anything else on that. I think
the movie theater was it was such an interesting experience. And when we left, they didn't let you leave out into like the, what would you call it, where all the other theaters are, the hallway.
The movie like, corridor. I don't know.
Like guard ladies there, and they're like, no, you have to exit out front, and we exited out front and end up in this weird like back hallway.
And our thoughts like that's the fire exit.
Yeah, because we're like, we can't go.
We can't go down there. Yeah.
But we couldn't leave the other way, so
no.
They don't want people catching 2 films for the price of 1, I guess. But I mean, there are so few people there, I doubt like you could get away with it anyway. But
isn't it like it's so interesting that like the prices are so cheap like for us, and they care so much about that. It's interesting. Because we don't care about that in America. I mean, you can easily sneak into 2 movies in America because some movie theaters in America, I would almost say like most of the ones I've been to, maybe not most. There are some that definitely don't even check your ticket. You can just walk in.
Yeah, and like the level of employee was very
maybe
different.
That's Maine.
These ladies that were at the movie theater were like dressed to the nines. Yeah. They had matching gold necklaces and like nice shoes, and and they took their job more seriously than like, you know, the punk teenager at a Regal. So I think that's probably a difference too. But
what does the one guy at Birkdale always say? He like monotone. He always says like he always says something about the movie. He says like a
pun. He says like a pun, but he doesn't smile.
Nor does he look at you.
He just says the complete monotone.
Like, dude, you're cool. I responded to him. I like asked him a question. He just ignored me one day, which was funny.
But I think it's interesting too because at the movie theater, they seem very serious about that. But everywhere else we've been, there's been no, like, with money and paying things, there's just no, like, it's like they almost don't even care because they, like, you don't get a receipt or anything if you go to a sit-down restaurant. They don't give you anything. You just, like, and since we go and we work after we eat for a while, then it's like, oh, we haven't paid yet. You have to remember to pay before you go. But they don't come around like, you're going to pay. They don't, like, you know.
No, they don't.
That's so different.
And I wonder if it stresses them out.
Well, they're so polite. It probably is.
Yeah, why. I just wonder if it bothers them that we're sitting there and we haven't paid yet. But we could go up and pay whenever, I guess. But it's just different. Like it's always like a hard struggle. Like, how do I fit into the culture when you can't communicate and you're like, I don't know. They can't tell me what they want me to do, but I can't ask.
Yeah.
You just have to kind of see things and kind of do the best you can.
I don't think they mind though. because that's everywhere. Nowhere,
I don't think they care.
Nowhere are they like, okay, you got to pay right away, and they're just not pushy about it. It's just very, very different, I guess.
Yeah, and I mean, I've tipped like a little bit every time, but I don't tip much because tipping is not something you do here, from what I read and from what I've seen too. But they don't even like check on you. You order everything you need right in the beginning, and that's it. And like Miranda said, they don't come back because they're not gonna.
Yeah, they're not like.
They're not checking on you.
Refill your drink or anything like that, and they just bring out the food whenever it's ready. So that today we got it at the same time, which was kind of the first time I think.
That is the first. Yeah.
But yeah, usually Jordan always gets his food first, which I was like, I don't. That's not fair.
And our rule is we just start eating right away, so it doesn't cool off or anything.
We don't care.
It's just interesting. Yeah, there's so many things that are so different.
Little things, yeah. It's been so cool just to have all those little differences, and it just makes every day interesting because you just never know what you're gonna see and what you're gonna experience, and I'm so excited because apparently there's a Shang My Flower Festival.
I knew that was gonna come up.
And it's next weekend, and we were so bummed. I think we talked about this, that the park was closed, and it said it was closed for like 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
They closed it because they're preparing for the flower festival, which makes it totally okay. And they have like a pageant, like the Miss like Chiang Mai Beauty Flower Queen or something, and they have a parade with flower floats. I mean, I'm so excited for this. So that's going to be next weekend.
Yep.
But we saw signs, we saw people putting flowers on letters. We're like, something's going on at the park, and then we just connected the dots. And I looked into it to be sure because I didn't want to get too excited about it. But yeah, we're going to be here for the flower festival.
Yep.
Which is awesome.
Miranda's freaking out about that. I'm also very excited that we get to watch the Super Bowl and a breakfast buffet.
Oh yeah, we haven't talked about this.
We got tickets for breakfast buffet Super Bowl because over here the Super Bowl is at 6:30 a.m. So they were like get tickets, and we noticed that our tickets we were only like number 5 and 6. So
yeah,
it might just be like 10 expats over there watching the football game. Probably everyone cheering against the Patriots because that's just what they do, which is fine. Miranda maybe for once in her life will cheer for the Patriots with me.
I mean, come on. It's hard to
Hopefully.
root. It's hard to root for a team that wins that much. I mean, it's just everybody loves an underdog. And
I know, but you're supposed to support me.
And they were even playing the fake, against the Chiefs, the Patriots were the underdog.
Well, they technically were the underdogs in that game.
They're never the underdogs.
Oh, I agree.
I
agree with
you. You should never even say that. It's like when you've been to the Super Bowl 20 times, like you can't say you're an underdog.
This is the third season in a row that they've been to the Super Bowl, and I think it's something like 9 or 10 AFC Championship games. Like,
that's crazy.
In a row. Like, that is just, I mean, it's not fair. But it's awesome. It's awesome as a Patriots fan, but this reign is coming to an end for sure. I mean, Brady might play till he's 45, but he's not going to play forever.
What if he was playing when he was 50 years old?
I don't think it'd be crazy for him to play until he's 45, unless he suffers like a super injury. But if he doesn't win, he's going to want to come back and win again. And if he does win, he's going to have the same attitude. He's going to be like, I want another one. Neither way is going to affect whether he comes back or not, I don't think. But no one likes Brady. I just have so much respect for Brady and the team.
I will say, I love that Brady, like, it just shows how if you have a goal and if you have a focus, like, you can accomplish whatever, because he's...
Say what you want about him, but yeah Miranda's absolutely right, and I am gushing with pride.
Going to the Super Bowl, like, you have to respect that, but it's annoying for every other team, because
it makes it
like, come on, like, who didn't want to see cute little Mahones in the Super Bowl?
Everyone wanted to see Mahones.
Come on, so yeah.
I know, but I love that you just said that because we talked about that before. I mean, it is huge. You can do what you set your mind to. I mean, he was a super late draft pick. He can barely run, and now he is the greatest quarterback of all time. There's no one that would ever argue that because he's just played so long and he's done so well. But it didn't start that way. It started with, he was very much an underdog early on, and he just became this. And it's so cool to see that what you can do if you're pushing forward. And hey, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna make a dedication and make a focus.
Yeah,
it's cool. I love it.
I love it. I love to take fun breaks. So that
yes, Brady probably should have taken more fun breaks.
Yeah, gotta take time to hang out with Giselle and the kids.
I just love the focus and the attitude of the Patriots of always wanting to get ahead and just do whatever they can to push the boundaries sometimes of the rules, but they're so good that it doesn't even matter. People are like, well, Deflategate and all that, and it's like it doesn't even make a difference. I don't agree with cheating by any means, but I do agree with doing the best you can to get ahead. Maybe that's not the right way to say it. Maybe not the best way to get ahead, but I think there's so much more outside the box thinking that we can do. And I think that's what the Patriots are great at, outside the box thinking that other teams aren't expecting, and then they do this play and they're like, whoa, what are they doing? It's like you could have done the same exact thing, you just didn't. You didn't think of it. And there's so much that we can do that's outside of the box.
Yeah. So that'll be a fun weekend, the Flower Festival and the Super Bowl. So we have different life priorities, obviously.
I mean, I'm honestly not super excited about the Flower Festival, but I am because you are.
But after working in a greenhouse, it's like a flower festival. So exciting.
Oh, I was going to say, why wouldn't that be not exciting?
Well, it's going to be like so cool. It's going to be so different than working in a greenhouse, obviously. But I have this connection to flowers now. Yeah. It just happens.
So work-life balance, flowers,
Super Bowl.
I mean, we can say that as the last little tidbit on a work-life balance is, especially in a relationship, be willing to do what the other person likes. That's a simple thing, but
I gotta spend time together.
Yeah,
you gotta go to the flower festival.
I think you like football.
Look at all the pretty flowers.
But listen, you like football a little bit more than I like flowers, but we're still gonna do it.
You're gonna love it.
Maybe. All right, this podcast is coming to an end.
Because we need to go get some egg rolls.
We need to get some egg rolls. We appreciate you guys listening. We hope you have a fantastic rest of your night, and we will talk to you soon. And stay frosty, because you are over there. Most of you are probably over there in the U.S., so stay frosty. We love you guys. We will talk to you soon.
Bye-bye.